One of the questions that we get a lot at For the Gospel is the dating of non-Christians. Let me try to answer that simply by breaking up each of those statements, dating and non-Christians. One thing that a lot of you may not know, and please listen to me, young man or young woman, wherever you're sitting, is that dating is a relatively new invention. Dating is really a failed experiment of the modern 20th century. The whole idea of dating is an outside-in proposition, whereby if you were to picture with me the Venn diagram of concentric circles of what a person could look like, meaning that their soul is the center of who they are, the feelings are maybe a ring outside of that, and then outside of that is the physical makeup or the body of an individual. Dating by its very nature is outside in. When we date someone, we're looking at the outside, the physicality of them based on the laws of attraction. And maybe we get to go out with them and at some point move from the outside into a discussion about our feelings towards one another, or our feelings towards who we want to be in our future together. But one thing that rarely, if ever, happens in a dating relationship the way it's done right now in our world is finding out the soul of that person, the values of that person, the faith of that person, the very thing that drives that individual. So sadly, in our context, we take a young couple and we send them off into a dark theater to figure out the most important decision of their life all on their own. Which is interesting because we don't do that anywhere else. We don't do that with baseball, we don't do it with music, we don't do it with art, only with this thing called dating. And that inevitably is why it fails, because it's outside in. By the time we ever find out what's inside that heart, we're already grafted in and attracted to them based off the physical and the feelings. Which leads us to part number 2, the dating of a non-Christian. Now, hopefully you understand what's in the soul, the very center of an unbeliever. What resides there? What resides in the center there is nothing but iniquity and death, nothing but rebellion and darkness because they're unregenerate, meaning they cannot glorify God no matter how hard they wanted to, and meaning they couldn't love you sacrificially even if they tried. So friends, by the very definition of dating and by the very definition of being a non-Christian, you putting yourself in the hands of that individual will lead to nothing but catastrophe. That's why Paul said, by the way, in 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14, he said, don't be bound together with unbelievers. What relation has light and darkness, righteousness and lawlessness? What possible relation could there be between Christ and the devil? Friends, the reality is that there can be none. So the dating of a non-Christian would be a very, very poor idea for the man or the woman of God.